Hello everybody, Artisan Studio here. I'm going to quickly show you a technique I use to set up the level of the bass in a mix, at least to put it in the ballpark. When we set like the first level of the bass using the fader, we are strongly influenced by the low content he has, right? Of course, this depends on the source and also it depends on what we're looking for. But with this technique, basically, we break down the problem. So first of all, let's hear what we got here. This is the track. I'm gonna keep the vocal muted. So let's, this is our the fader of our bass. Let's find like a level, starting point for it. If we go too crazy with this, the drums start sounding really small. So it's a good rule, when you set up the level of one element to actually listen to the rest. All right, plus 2.1. I think it's is a good starting point. In my mix template, I always have this one, which is a parallel bass distortion bus. It's ready to use. Just a fader. I just adjust it to taste, and that's it. But if I rely only on this in order to get the presence I want, chances are I'm gonna overdo it a little bit, changing the nature of the sounds of the source. So let's try to do that anyway. I mean, this is the type of presence I'm looking for, but it's too much. It's very nasal, not in a good way. -7 is like the limit, I guess. -10, -9. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that, okay? Okay, and now I'm gonna show you the technique. As I said, we're gonna break down the problem. We're gonna focus on the presence first and the low frequency later. So all we need is a low shelf and an output gain. You can use a fader, of course. I just prefer to have everything in the same plugin, so with one click I can bypass it. So this is how it works. I cut all the body of the bass with the low shelf, probably setting the frequency to 150. Yeah, this can be like a good starting point. And then in the context, I'm gonna just focus on the presence, as I said. So I'm gonna move the output gain up. Once we're happy with the presence, we now give back the low content. Let's do that. And then probably I'm gonna also tweak the frequencies a little bit. something like that, right? As I said, this is the ballpark. There's gonna be a vocal and everything. So I'm gonna be tweaking this more and more later. As you can see, you can do this with lots of plugins. I use this one because it's transparent. But rather than using this one, for example, I like this because it has only 3 bands and boom, it's ready to use basically. There's two things that I really like about this EQ in general. First of all, is the 4 different EQ curves that you can have. Really cool. Check that out. Then the second thing that I really like about it is the fact that it can automatically match the gain of the output with the input. So if you bypass it, basically you won't get any change of volume. Why do I like this? I use this a lot when I have to mix elements that stays in the background. Let's say, for example, you have to highlight a certain band with the auto gain on. Once you start boosting that band, it won't stick out. It will stay there. But basically, what you're getting is that element getting smaller and smaller, which sometimes is exactly what you want for elements to stay in the background. So I think it's really cool and worth to check out. As I said again, it's free. I hope this was useful and have a nice day. Ciao.